It's been over a decade since George Lucas sold Lucasfilm to Disney, which means for over 10 years now, fans have unfortunately had to deal with Disney's Star Wars, which is not George Lucas's Star Wars. That much has been crystal clear from the very beginning. They took what he gave them, the templates he gave them, the stories that he wanted to tell. They ripped it up, they threw it in the trash. They said, no, we don't want those old fans, we don't want these old stories. Let the past die, kill it if you have to. Well, now Kathleen Kennedy, for anyone that didn't get the message already, with all the garbage they've put out, both in the theaters and on streaming, this is not George Lucas's Star Wars anymore. It hasn't been since he signed on the dotted line. Kathleen Kennedy is now making that crystal clear to everyone. She says, if you haven't got the message yet, I'll help you out. Kathleen Kennedy says new films will move past George Lucas's original vision, will introduce new characters, and start with something fresh. Speaking with Games Radar, Kathleen Kennedy discussed the upcoming Rey film, which she has been calling New Jedi Order in previous interviews, telling the outlet, quote, I think what's always great about Star Wars is it's a big galaxy. We're coming off what was a major war with the First Order, and now Rey has made a promise to Luke. That's really the core of where we're going and what this story will be. Kennedy continued, and I think it just offers a tremendous opportunity to introduce new characters and start with something fresh because we culminated with what George Lucas was creating. And now we take all of that and move it to the next chapter. What? Oh, you're telling everyone that now, starting now, you're going to move past George Lucas's vision for Star Wars and start with something new? No, that's what you've done the entire time. You took a shit on George Lucas's Star Wars and his legacy. That's the reason why you've lost so many fans. And it's not just with stuff that we've seen come out in theaters. It's obviously with all this stuff on Disney Plus too. None of this is part of George Lucas's Star Wars. None of this is part of George Lucas's vision and what he saw for the future. What they did to the character of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Certainly what they did to the character of Boba Fett. It's an absolute joke. But yes, I guess if for the past decade you haven't been paying attention, now you have it from the literal horse's mouth, Kathleen Kennedy, that they're ready to move on from George Lucas's Star Wars when it comes to the Rey movie. Not only did Kennedy reveal this will be the core of the film starring Daisy Ridley, but she also revealed it will tie into James Mangold's film that will tell the story of Disney's first version of the Jedi. Kennedy explained, quote, it was something that Jim immediately sparked to, and I think it's a nice compliment of what we're doing with moving into the future with Rey, and then understanding a bit more of where all this came from, because it will be at the heart of creating the new Jedi Order, so to get a real sense of where that might have began with the dawn of the Jedi could be pretty cool. You know what really fucking pisses me off as a Star Wars fan? Someone who actually read all these books and novels and played the games and did all these things before Disney bought Star Wars and threw it in the trash. The fact that you so casually threw all the EU stuff away, and now you have a movie coming out that everyone's been referencing, The New Jedi Order, which was a series of books in the old Star Wars expanded universe. The fact that you now have a movie called Dawn of the Jedi, which, by the way, was also a book in the Star Wars expanded universe that dealt with the origins of the Jedi, taking place 20,000 years before the movies. The fact that they will just so willingly, with no shame whatsoever, go to the carcass of the thing that they threw away, pull it out of the trash, bastardize it, and repurpose it, and pretend like no one will notice is disgusting. But this is Star Wars. This has been Disney Star Wars. They may have had some people fooled, let's be real. As much as I hated Force Awakens when it came out and I thought it was shallow and I thought it was hollow and I thought it was shit, there were a lot of people that were down with it. There were a lot of people that enjoyed it. There were a lot of people that went to the theater. They had a lot of people tricked into thinking that they were doing what George Lucas wanted them to do with Star Wars. That was never the case. This hasn't been George Lucas's Star Wars since October 30th, 2012. But hey, thanks Kathleen Kennedy for letting everybody know in your hard-hitting interview with Games Radar that, yeah, by the way, if you hadn't noticed, we're moving past George Lucas's Star Wars. To be honest with you, I think that a lot of people that are tired of what Disney's doing to Star Wars would want them to do that. Stop taking these characters that George did create and destroying them. Stop destroying his legacy every step of the way with every new series, with every new movie that you propose, with every new thing that comes out. Stop destroying the legacy of George Lucas and what he created, because that seems to be Lucasfilm's plan right now. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.